arrived. I just am missing a utensil. Hi, friends. Surprise. Hi, Peggy, Lori. Hi, Julie. I mentioned this on Instagram today quickly, but then forgot to come back here and let people know I was getting on. But that's why we record them, right? So, how is everyone? Happy Wednesday. It's Wednesday, right? This week is already a blur. You guys, I was messing around the other night on Instagram and I thought that this recipe was going to be not good. And then I made it and it was good. And so I'm repeating it to see if it's worth writing down for you, my Substack followers. And here's what it is. First of all, it's pasta. So I brought some water to a boil. I was just on another call from my friend Shannon Watt, who's the founder of Mom Demand Action. And she is spectacular. And she wrote a book last year. It's the 1 year anniversary. And it's called Fired Up and How to Find Your Spark at Any Age. And I was, she interviewed me for the book. And then she had me on tonight to talk to a bunch of women. And it was so fantastic. And it just ended at 5:30. And I wanted to cook on here at 5:30. And so I just kind of like jumped in here to get going on this. And I thought this is the perfect demo to do when I'm telling you guys it's that easy, because let's find out if it is, right? So here's what I did. I set the timer on the pasta. I brought the water to a boil. I set it, I just put the pasta in and I set it for 7 minutes. It's already down to 5. And I cheated because I had an onion kind of already cut up halfway, right? So I'm sauteing my onion. I need salt and olive oil. I'm not even going to add garlic. I would if I had time, but I'm just going to soften these onions up a little bit. And then this recipe came to life the other day because I had some salmon. And my friend, oh, sure, Lori. Sorry, let me answer Lori's rib question. You absolutely can do the last part of the rib the day before. Or the day of, but I want you to text me. So I give you specific instructions. You can cook them all the way through and then let them cool down, put them in the fridge, and then you're going to heat them up before you sauce them on your trainer. Okay. But text me if you want and we'll get serious. Okay. So anyhow, I cheated and I had cut the onions already. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take these onions and I'm going to add some tomatoes to them because I didn't have tomato sauce. I wanted fresh tomatoes to go with the salmon. And my friend Stacia had started making this recipe, and it's got crushed tomatoes, garlic, onion, olive oil, salmon, and cream. And it sounds kind of random. And some people in this house think it is kind of random. I love it. But I didn't have any crushed tomatoes. I just have these little cherry tomatoes. So I'm just like, you know what? I'm just going to mess around. This might be the weirdest recipe of all time, but we don't care. Sometimes those are the most delicious ones. So I'm just repeating it for you guys because I liked it. Guess what else? I didn't have anything good to add. I might have a lemon right now, but instead of deglazing with lemon, if the pan gets too brown, I'm just adding a little water. That's not illegal. It's completely legal. So water could be one of your best friends in the kitchen, and it could be an amazing ingredient. We're going to use properly. I just put probably a tablespoon in there to deglaze. And then while that is deglazing and coming back up, I have 2 pieces of salmon that still have their skin on. And I'm just going to cube them. And then I'm going to show you how I'm going to get these. I'm cubing, but not cutting through the skin, right? And then I'm going to cut the salmon off of the skin. And it's just going to be in these cute little diced pieces that I'm going to put in. So see, this is like a mango. When you cut down, but you have to have a really sharp knife to get through the skin. So I'm going to just take it off of its skin by putting my knife right there against it and holding and cutting across, right? So this is a very kind of messy way to do this, but this is kind of like my brain. We should just call this like impatient cooking. Very hurried, but I kind of dig it. It's like when everybody is hungry already and you don't have a lot of time, I just put those chunks off of the skin. And now I have this cute little dice that is far from perfect. But can you see how it's all diced through the steam? Now I'm going to wash my hands because I just have them on the raw fish. And you're going to be like, this is the silliest, simple recipe. But I think that's the point, right? So you'll be able to see my face again in a second once we get through sauteing these onions. But there's just a lot of steam coming off them. We just want them to be, soft enough when you bite that you don't get a crunch in them. Because if I were to use adding other ingredients right now, it's going to take a lot longer for them to soften up, or they wouldn't soften up entirely. And so you want your onions and your garlic always to be cooked to the point that you like the flavor of them right then and there. Okay. So you don't want to leave them crunchy unless you want them to be crunchy in the final recipe. There's 12 seconds left on my clock. So the pasta is going to beat the sauce. We're going to be okay with that, folks. Oh, you know what? I think the dishwasher is clean. Quite our dish is piling up in the sink, but the pasta strainer is in the sink. So let's see how the pasta tastes. I'm going to bring a piece over. It might need another minute or two. I think it's going to need another minute, but just to be sure, let's just see. Yeah, it needs more time. Okay. Let's see how our onions are doing. I turned it way down while I walked over there. How is everyone tonight? Those are getting good. Put my hand a little more. So the only other thing we're going to do here is because I don't have crushed tomatoes, we're going to put the tomatoes in and kind of like mush them, for lack of a better word. And then they're going to make it a little softy, juicy, right? And then we'll add another little splash of water because the bottom of my pan is getting dark. And that's just from the sugar that the onions are getting off. So if you can tip that and put liquid in it before it burns, then that all becomes deliciousness that gets absorbed back into the onions and you put that whole liquid off on the bottom of the pan and scrape it up, right? But if it's burns, it's too late. Right. I'm going to put the tomatoes in. See how silly this is? And then I have a bunch of chopped basil that's kind of sticking to the tomato. That's okay. And then I've got the cream and the salmon, and that's it. We might end up using a little more olive oil. Oh my God. It's a fun little recipe, you guys. Hi, Megan. Hi, Sheila, and everybody joining. Hi, Pat. I purposely cook without an apron sometimes because I just want to not make a mess. And I feel like mentally, if I don't put on an apron, I'll be smarter. But the other night when I was cooking this for the first time, I was wearing a red dress and I got red tomato seeds all over my dress. So this could be really cool with what I'm doing here. What I know we need is a little more salt. There goes the timer again in the pasta. Let's see what we think. It's done this way down while I'm going to put another little tiny splash of water so nothing's burning on the bottom of the pan. Scrape all that yummy brownness off. I love induction because you can control the heat so rapidly up and down. And with this Heston pan that conducts heat so well is fantastic. Oh. The pasta's going to need one more minute. But let's go ahead and add the salmon. And again, I'm going to wash my hands again. You'll see me washing my hands a lot. Okay. I mean, everything's going to get cooked. I'm just trying not to put salmon on everything else in my kitchen, right? I did have the tomatoes. I'm so glad you asked that, Lori. I have the tomatoes. And then, the juice kind of comes out of them and they're easier to get on your fork as well. So I'm just barely going to move the salmon around, hook it on all sides. But because I diced it, it's going to cook really quickly, really quickly. Hi, Coral. How are you? Let's see here, folks. I'm just having a fish kind of day. Actually, I had king salmon at lunch today at my beloved Poppy's on Chestnut Street. I took a new friend to lunch and we had a Caesar with salmon on it, which was great. And then we also had these albacore tomato sauce. Is that right? Yellowtail. And then we had, what else did we have? We had a tartare crudo that was good. Okay, so this salmon is literally almost cooked through, which is how I want it for this dish. Let me check the pasta. I just need to find a strainer for the pasta, which is in the dishwasher. Yeah, let me just turn this down to low for a second while I send to the pasta. And I'm going to save a splash of pasta water so that we can use it in the sauce here. Look at this, though. I mean, that salmon's like cooked through. See how easy that was? Okay. That was plain water. I'm going to get a little of the pasta water. Just like a little splash, right? And now let me drain the pasta and straight in it's going to go. When I use this tiny one instead, probably not the best idea. In you go. It's a little bit more. Oh, here we go. Now this is how I'm going to finish it, you guys. But I'm not claiming that this is going to be the best meal you've ever had. However, lots of basil. This is a 1/4 cup of cream. It's 2 tablespoons per serving. This is for 2 of us. So actually, I don't even think you need that much. But I was trying to measure it so I can write this recipe up well for everybody, right? And I just did 2 ounces of pasta per person, which is an actual portion. I think most of us are used to eating 3 or 4 ounces, which is an American portion of pasta. But this is going to be different. So let's just toss this. It's still on level 3 out of 10, right? So it's just kind of on a warmer setting. And we're going to give it a second to absorb the cream and the pasta water. Then you get this you know what people would love? Like a creamy vodka sauce, right? You could still put a little vodka in this if you wanted to, and it'd be delicious. I could have done that. I think we have some vodka. But let's give this a little taste and see what we think it needs. I'm always adding lemon juice to things for acid, but I don't think I have one. But let's hope the tomatoes from the acid balance it. It's just a cute, simple little pasta. I think it's going to need a little salt. You guys, it's just a delightful little dish. I'm not going to tell you this is like a Michelin star pasta dish, but for a weeknight with not a lot of time on your hands, easy peasy. And if you buy, let's say, a pound of salmon and you only use like half of that for a recipe, there's still on myself, save the other half and dice it up and use it for this, right? So there you have it. This beautiful little salmon pasta in a light cream sauce. Let's call it that. The light tomato cream sauce. Oh, look at this. I've even got a clean pasta bowl. I think. If you've had Parmesan cheese, you could certainly put Parmesan on it. A lot of people would say that's not the right thing to do with salmon. I don't follow those rules. I'm just not a rule follower when it comes to cooking. I say do what makes you happy. You're serving. Oh, it's just the cutest. Isn't that delish? Doesn't it look delicious, I should say? You just have to trust me on this, right? There you go. I'm going to write this recipe up for you, my lovely Substack community. And thank you for hanging with me as always. And I'll catch you soon, okay? Have a great night. Bye.